Good morning, welcome back to the DanGoesOutdoors YouTube channel. If you're new around here, think about subscribing. It's free to do so. I try to put out a video every Sunday morning. Recently I've not quite been managing that with it being winter and everything, but yeah, most Sunday mornings there'll be a video up. So today I've decided to take a bit of a gamble really. So we've only got a week or so of the river season left, and I really want a good river fish before it's over. So I've come down to this nice stretch here where I've caught good chub, barbel as well from in the past, and yeah, I'm just hoping that either today or over the next couple of trips we'll bump into a decent fish or two perhaps. Yeah, I'd really like to finish the river season on a high. I think pike fishing's behind us now. It's been relatively mild recently, so yeah, I'm focusing on the other species now. And yeah, I think today the maggot feed would probably be the better approach, but I don't have any maggots. So I've got big bait on my right hand rod cast downstream, you know, a pace wrap boilie with a little PVA bag of ground bait. I've got a few lobworms left over, so I'm about to put one of those out as well. That could catch anything, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, we'll start here and we may move downstream later on. So here's my other rod with a nice lobby on there. Feels a bit strange putting a lobworm on a lead clip, but it's how I prefer to fish for barbel. I'm not really interested in striking at little taps or whatever. I think if a big fish takes that lobworm, it's going to hook itself, whether it's a running rig or a lead clip anyway. So yeah, for the sake of safety, we'll keep that on. We'll try and get this over that far side. Well, a good sign is I'm finding worms all over the floor, so if I run out of those couple of lobbies that I've got, I should be able to make a bunch of these, I think. Well, I just got a proper crack on the worm rod, and then like seconds later, big fish just boiled upstream there. Don't know if it was maybe a pike striking at something, but it didn't seem like that. It seemed like more like, you know how maybe your carp or something rolls. So it could have been barbel or a chub, or I don't know. Getting a few indications, that's good. So just having a recast, decided to swap my boilie for a couple of 8mm pellets wrapped in some paste there with a little PVA bag above them. Just a mouthful really today. I'm not cat putting anything out. And yeah, I'm trying not to cast too much because it's so quiet today. There is not a breath of wind. Certainly when people are going by on the footpath, I can hear them coming miles away. So I can only assume that the fish have the same thing going on for me. So yeah, I'm going to walk down the bank a little bit, cast this out, and yeah, hopefully get it in first time. Well, it is getting a little bit darker now. I can see that we're heading into sort of a late afternoon, and not really feeling it in this spot. I've only had one bang on a worm, and that's it. I have seen a fish further to my left, so since I'm going to wind in for a recast anyway, I think I'm just going to hop up to that swim, just have a little bit of a lead about, just 3 or 4 casts, just see what it's like there. Looks a little bit slower, which, considering it's a fair bit colder than it has been today, it might be a better spot to fish for the evening. If not, I can always come back here because I do like this spot. I've caught from it before, but yeah, just not really feeling it today. So yeah, we'll wind in and have a couple of casts up there. Not sure. I'll have a think about that. Well, I had that led around in that swim. Also had a walk up and down the bank, just looking at the other spots that are close to here. And really, they're all very similar to this one. So I kind of feel like it would just be moving for the sake of moving, which I'm trying to stop myself from doing that. So yeah, I'm going to stay here, get my rods sorted, and hopefully make 2 good casts and just leave them until dark. You can't stay past dark, unfortunately. With this club, you have to have a extended hours, permit, which I haven't got. So I'll give it until dark and just hope that a fish comes out. At least it's the best time of day, and I've been fishing here, so there should be a bit of sort of smell and taste out there. So yeah, maybe it'll happen. It's quite cold today though. Getting my excuses in. There we go. So since I'm leaving it for a while, quite a big PVA bag there, but it's basically all ground bait in there. So yeah, I'm not too bothered because it's just powder, all smell and taste really. As for the worm rod, I've added a couple of those little worms I found on the floor and broken them up a bit, so there should be loads of worm juices coming out of there. And I'm still going to put a PVA bag on it, which may seem odd to put a PVA bag on a worm rod, but it's there for the exact same reasons as it's on the pellet rod, you know, more attraction, prevent tangles, get a bit of smell and taste. I keep going on about that because what you want in these conditions is just flavour in the water, and then the only actual thing the fish have got to eat is your hook bait. For filling themselves up on loads of freebies, by the time they get to your bait, you know, they don't need a lot of food at this time of year, so they might not take it. There we go. So worms, oh god, PVA bag. Don't see that very often. That one went well. Well, hopefully you can see me. I'm gonna have to call it a night there. The darkness has well and truly come. I am gonna be coming back over the next couple of days, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. So before I go, I'm just gonna catapult about a handful of pellets in, not a lot, just 4 milk carp pellets, just so I've got somewhere to start when I do come down and maybe give the fish a little bit of a taste for bait. Right then, the next day. So just about to put my worm rod out, and I've changed to a running rig. Last night when I wound in, there were no worms left on my hook, which is absolutely gutting. I suspect it was maybe a crayfish, to be honest, because I put the rig in a kind of slacker area, and I think maybe that was better for the crayfish, plus the fact that it was getting dark. But it could have been small fish as well, so I'd quite like to know what's going on. So we'll put the running rig on, see if we can get a little bit more sensitivity there. Although personally, I think the lead clip is still quite sensitive because you've got all that movement there anyway. Smaller worms, a bunch of smaller worms instead of a big lob worm, and on a smaller hook as well, just to see if there's some life down there. If we do start getting small fish or little pecks or whatever, then I'll put a big worm on a 6 back on, but yeah, we'll try that for now. Right, back in position. Game plan for today is, I kind of feel obliged to fish this swim to start off with, considering I put that little bit of bait in last night. You know, there could be fish here searching out for it. Probably not, to be honest, but it's such a small amount of bait that it's probably gone now anyway, and seeing as it was carp pellets, they'll break down. So I'm happy that if the bait wasn't eaten, it's not just like sat there affecting my chances. Yeah, actually last night I fished for a little bit more after I spoke to you, another sort of 15-20 minutes, and yeah, the river kind of came alive a little bit. There were fish jumping, pretty sure they're trout, maybe grayling, but at least there was some action. And of course I wound in those worms to find nothing there. So yeah, it could be that it's an evening thing, but we'll give it a go. I might try that swim upstream that I leaded about in yesterday. One of the reasons I didn't fish it yesterday was because I'd led it around, and I did that kind of knowing I'd probably be back, so just to gain a bit of knowledge for the future. So maybe I'll go up there for an hour or two, just make 2 casts, no real noise, and see if there are any fish up there. If not, I do like this swim, and yeah, we got a couple of little touches in here yesterday. Maybe it'll happen today. My God. I was just winding in for a move. The worms. The worms are doing it. Oh man. Oh, I can see it. Oh, in and out the net. Where would it go in? Oh, big chub, big chub. Oh my God. I just put my book down, tidied everything away, look. No bait boxes out, no tackle, no nothing, because I was going to move. And the worm rod just started banging away. Yeah, good chub. Oh man, I was just thinking to myself, this big fish or bust end of a season finale that I'm trying to do here isn't going to pay off. And it has. Ugh. Well, here it is, a cracking chub. Lovely chubbly. I'm going to put a weight on it. I'll show you it now. Have a quick guess. Put it in the comments if you're feeling brave. There we go. Now it's been in the net a while, so it's a bit lively. Let's weigh it. I'm not going to guess because I'm rubbish at guessing fish's weights. They all look massive to me. Oh yes. £5. 11. 5.11. £5.11. Is that PB? I don't know. I'll have to double check. I think I've caught chub about this size, but don't always weigh them. 5.11. Man, that's awesome. £5.11, so what's that, 5 ounces short of £6? It's a clonker of a chub. Barely fought, to be honest, but in winter I'll take the easy ones. Like a night out, the easier the better. Get in, 5.11. Real thick. And it's got quite a belly on it at the moment. Hey up. Boombalati. Fantastic, big fish or bust. And we got it on the second day. I wonder if it fed over those pellets I put out yesterday. I don't know. On the worms. Natural baits this time of year. Probably better. In fact, I might put 2 worm rods out now. Ah, great. Thanks, mate. Have to use the net to put this fish back. Don't really want to get too close to the water, it's very muddy down there. One thing about chub is they're very slimy. Everybody talks about tench being slimy and eels and things. Soon forget that chub are really slimy as well. There you go, mate. You're kicking away. £5.11. See you later. Well, since I just caught one, let me show you the rig I used. Bit different to yesterday's rig. I normally use a lead clip, and I actually think I probably still would have caught that fish on yesterday's lead arrangement, but for today I wanted a running rig just because I lost my worms last night, so I wanted that little bit of extra sensitivity so that I could see if crayfish or whatever were plucking at my worms. But actually I think that by the time the line's moving through the swivel there, you've probably either hooked the fish anyway, or you've seen the nod on the rod tip. That's just my personal opinion. But that little bit of extra separation there with the snap link and the swivel on the lead does give it a little bit of movement, more movement than you get with a lead clip. So you've got a little bit more sensitivity there. I pretty much always use quite heavy leads, at least sort of 2 ounces. This is 3 ounces. My attitude is that if you don't want it to move around out there, then use a heavy lead. Yeah, it does make a bit more of a noise when you cast in, but whether you're casting in an ounce and a half, or 3 ounces, you're still making a cast, you're still making a splash. And at least with the heavy lead, once it's in there, I know it's going to stay in position. I don't have to make a recast unless I want to. Very rarely do they get dragged out of position at all, so it's kind of like making one big noise once rather than making lots of little noises throughout the session. It's yeah, my attitude. Little cover bead protecting the swivel there, about 18 inches of quite strong. This is 12-pound Match Anglers hook link material, because you know, if I do hook a big barbel like you know, 7, 8, 9 pounds plus, there's a lot of snags here. I want to have that bit of backbone there to move the fish if I need to. And then I scaled down from yesterday. I was using a size 6 with a whole lobworm. Today it's size 10 with just 2 or 3 small worms, which I'll put on them and I'll show you that. So that's the hook bait. It takes a little while to get them on, but 3 small worms instead of a big lobby makes a really small, compact, smelly hook bait with a fake maggot, just to keep them on and stop them from going over onto the hook point and masking it. But yeah, lovely little natural bait. And I'm thinking maybe I should have this on the other rod as well, double my chances. I don't know. I think I'll let that one fish out for a little while and then have a bit more of a think about it. Yeah, let's put that back out there. No PVA bag, just to keep you in a loop on that cast. I recast without a bag on, and that's what caught the fish. So I'm sat here really enjoying this late winter's day. This is brilliant. This is the sort of day I come out fishing for, and having just put back a £5.11 chub, I'm pretty happy. I'm rereading Darryl Peck's book, Misspent Youth, My Misspent Youth. Been out for ages. I just looked, and it's first published in 2011. And I must have read it 3 or 4 times now. I love it, and he's got a new one coming out soon. Yeah, personally, I'm not really into books where people are like describing misty sunrises and kingfishers diving from trees. That just doesn't really do it for me. I'd rather just hear about the angling story and the kind of emotions and things that come with it. You know, I can set the scene myself, and I fish regularly enough that I don't need to kind of reminisce. I really like Darryl Peck's writing style. And I'm getting myself pumped for carp fishing, which is in reality maybe 3-4 weeks away. I'll be getting out carp fishing more, and I want to carp fish hard this year. I think I didn't do great last year, I think, with the lockdown and everything, and so many other anglers back out, and me in and out of work a lot, working all over the place with people, having to take time off for COVID illness and you know, isolating and things like that. So yeah, yeah, I didn't get to catfish much, so this is really getting me in the mood. I don't have a phone as well with me at the moment. Part of the reason I'm fishing here is that it's quite safe, you know. The river, I could stand up in it, and you don't have to drive down a track to get here. I can park next to the road, so there's no getting stuck. If I do go in, I should be fine. Yeah, so it's kind of not risk free, but low risk fishing. The reason I don't have a phone is because last week I went out on a river and I didn't fall in. In fact, if anything, I jumped in. I tried to jump a little gap to an island. Kind of underestimate how much having all my fishing gear on me would restrict me, and perhaps age is creeping up on me a bit as well, you know. And I did this jump and just landed straight in it, went up to about here. Forgot my phone was in my pocket, and as the day went on, my phone stopped working. So yeah, I'm down here without a phone, which also explains why I haven't replied to many comments recently, so sorry about that. I have been getting some great comments. I think a couple of you have had PB pikes, which is just incredible. I have caught a couple of PBs myself recently, but I've been sitting on that video because I'm very aware of how my fishing channel affects fishing behaviour in my local area. Not by much, to be fair, actually. But I'm going to hold on to that video until the close season, or maybe next weekend. So yeah, just to give those fish a chance to do their thing. I don't want to give much away, but yeah, you'll see it. Some incredible fish in it. Still smiling about it now. But yeah, in terms of here, what I'm thinking is probably put a worm on my pellet rod as well. I do have a couple of big lobworms left, so maybe it'll be big lobworm one rod, small worms on the other rod. Sounds like a good plan. And I'm pretty convinced I'm going to stay in this swim, having just caught a big chub. Time to change this pellet rod over to a worm, I think. It does work in winter, but you need a situation where it's a little bit milder and you've got a lot of fish in front of you, perhaps on a bigger river. In this situation here, it's a bit colder, and I think we're fishing for just a handful of big fish that don't really need to eat anglers' baits if they don't want to, so we'll take those off and put a more natural bait on. So that's it, big worm on a big hook. It's my second to last lobworm. I bought about 30 of them. They've lasted me about 3 weeks, so brilliant. Well, I just had 2 proper big bangs on the same rod again that I caught the fish. So I kind of half struck, didn't feel the fish, so just let the lead fall back down, left it for about 10-15 minutes, but hasn't come back, and I can see I'm missing a worm. So I think I'll redo that, pop it back out. Fortunately, it took a couple of goes because I didn't feel a drop on the first time, and all the times I've got a bang or a fish or whatever, I felt a drop, so I just need it to happen. Okay, heading into real prime time now. Last sort of 30-40 minutes of a day. Don't think I'm going to quite stay as late as I did yesterday. I was in trouble a little bit because I forgot a food shop was coming, and without a phone, so if you couldn't get in contact with me. So yeah, I wasn't in everyone's best books yesterday, that's for sure. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to stay as late, and I don't really want to. You know, I've caught a good fish, what I think is a PB, at least I think it's the biggest chub I've ever weighed. I think when fishing a Trent I have caught bigger ones. I just didn't weigh them because I was catching big barbel at the time. So yeah, you kind of put them chub back and hope you'll catch a barbel. Since we last spoke, I have had a good knock on the left-hand rod, and got those worms on the right-hand rod, of course. So yeah, I'm quite hopeful because we've had more action today, and in theory we're going into a better time of day anyway. I think I'm gonna have to call it a day there. It's getting dark now. I'm already gonna have to really crank the brightness up in the edit. But you know, if this is the last of my river season, then what a great way to finish with what I think is a PB chub. That is brilliant, and you know, these past couple of days have been fantastic to spend time on the river, finally getting those cold crisp days where it's not an absolute mud pit down here, it's not in flood and it's not chucking it down. Yeah, it's really been enjoyable, and yeah, what a great time. Hopefully you guys have had a really good river season as well. Thank you for following me through mine. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope you're all looking after yourselves. You know, there is some light at the end of a tunnel, and with the close season coming, we'll all be getting back on lakes and things as well, so hopefully things will come together and we'll actually be able to get out on the banks properly and yeah, catch loads of fish. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching again, and I'll see you next time.